should we do a thumbnail? Come in. Really? This is not... No. Well, hello there, guys. So I asked you on YouTube, actually, with the new community tab, what you guys wanted to see, and I gave you 3 options videos. One of those was the husband Q&A. All of them were going to be coming eventually, but you guys left some questions for us, and so we thought it'd be kind of fitting to post this on Valentine's Day. So there are a bunch of questions on here. I've actually only read through them once. Ryan has not seen them at all. So hopefully this video is not a bear to edit. Let's just hop right into it. So question number 1 is, did you both decide together that you would be stay-at-home mom/wife, or was it one more than the other?
I'd say it was a mutual decision.
Oh yeah.
Because obviously we've both been on the same page as far as like schooling, wanting our children to be homeschooled, which obviously requires one of us to stay home, and it's going to be Arianna.
Yeah.
So we've pretty much always been on the same page as far as that goes.
Yes, thankfully. I don't even think we ever really had a discussion about it. It was just like,
no.
That's just what we were doing.
Yeah.
So the second question, we actually got a few pertaining to this, and it has to do with housework. How do you balance housework since one of you stays home all day and the other leaves for work? Is this something you had to hash out in the beginning of your marriage, or did it come naturally? Ryan does a lot. I'm just gonna lay that out there.
Yeah.
But he is an odd guy in that you don't mind cleaning.
Right.
Like, he likes vacuuming.
I do like vacuuming. I mean, there's stuff I don't necessarily like doing, but
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem doing it. So like at night when she's editing, I do the dishes and clean up the kitchen.
I mean, when it comes down to, obviously, YouTube is also my job.
Right.
And so he's working, but then when he gets home, we spend time as a family, and then he does like dishes, and then I go and work and I edit. So that's kind of, we just kind of naturally decide what we do. I hate dishes too, like grosses me out. I just can't do it. And so he's just always kind of done that.
Yeah.
I always rinse my dishes. Like, I don't just leave them in there.
Right.
I always rinse them out and put them to the side, so it's easy for him at night. But the other stuff, we're kind of more of a just do it when we see it needs attention people, which isn't the right way necessarily. So it always ends up being random who does it. We're not dirty people, so like, I don't know, when it looks dirty, I clean it.
Right.
Like, that's just kind of how we are. Yeah, that's not really the right way probably to do it, but just being honest, that's how we are. And I think it should also be said that I know a lot of men want to come home from work, sit down, and just do nothing. Ryan can't. Like,
I don't
do
like
that.
doing nothing. I hate just sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's times where I just want to sit down and like scroll through my phone, check emails,
He does that.
go do social media, you know, that type of stuff. But just sitting down, turning the TV on, something like that,
He could never do that.
I mean, even when I was younger, and we had TV, I'd get home from school, I'd turn the TV on, but I'd still be doing other stuff at the same time. It's more of just like a background because I don't like not doing something.
So I wish we could like really give good advice on that, but we are definitely not traditional at all when it comes to that, and it's just has to do with personality, really. So this one's kind of like a 2-parter. What do you typically do for your anniversaries, and then also, do you celebrate your dating anniversary still?
What do we typically do for our anniversary? Depends on what I think of.
I'm the gift giving, like, love language. That's my love language, not his. So he typically is like the planner for stuff like that. You know, sometimes he'll plan something bigger, and sometimes we'll just go out to dinner. It kind of depends. As for dating anniversary, no, we don't at all. Next question is, maybe like we'll put these kind of together. What is the hardest part of being married, and how do you overcome super stressful situations? I don't initially think of anything when it comes to like the hard part of being married. Communicating?
Being married.
I mean, I think that's like the standard answer is like communication can be one of the hardest things. I think we're fairly good at it, but we're definitely not perfect at it.
Right. I'd say probably just getting on the same page too.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, that kind of goes with communication, but if you're not on the same page, things can go awfully bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been times in our marriage that we haven't been on the same page, and it's been stressful. When you have thoughts of different things you want to do, like just think about, you have a day, and you haven't really talked about it, but you both have plans that involve each other in your head.
But you never told each other what the
And then the day comes and you're like, oh, we're going to do this. And your spouse is like, no, I thought we were going to do this. But you never talked about it. And then it's almost guaranteed one of you is going to be angry or frustrated because you're not doing what you had planned to do.
We do that one a lot, I think.
That's probably one of our bigger struggles.
We plan in our head and don't plan with each other.
Yeah, that especially for me, that's something I realize I do a lot is I'll think about something quite a bit in my head, but I won't actually like verbalize it to Arianna, and then it's like, oh, how do you overcome super stressful situations?
I think we've only yelled at each other once.
I'm sure it's been more than once.
Yell at each other?
I don't think we've raised our voices with each other, but like straight up yelling.
I don't think we've actually yelled ever.
No, definitely not like the people that were behind us in our second apartment. Remember that time they were screaming at each other?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we've never done
No, we never have yelled at each other ever. But we've raised our voice at each other. And even that, I think we've probably only done like 5 times tops.
Maybe.
We just really don't.
Yeah.
We're more of like the just shut down. I am like a shut down, be quiet, not say anything person.
Me too.
And Ryan, yeah. So we're not like the really raise your voice people. And if we do, it means there's something not good. But a lot of times we'll just be we know like we kind of have an attitude with each other. Say something was stressful in the house. The next time we like leave the house, or if we're in like a different part of the house, we usually be like, can we like just be happy and like have a normal, like have a good day?
Yeah.
That's usually how things are. It's like, can we just be happy now? Mm-hmm. And then we just kind of have a reset button.
Yeah. Obviously, in relationships, there's always going to be stressful times, regardless of who you are or how good you try to be. You're gonna get stressed. You're gonna get frustrated. It's guaranteed. Just that's how relationships are.
I think what makes it last longer is like you have to be willing to admit that you both have fault in what's going on and not just one person. Because even if one person is more at fault, there still is usually something on both sides that was, wrong in how it was communicated or whatever to make it end up to be a big thing.
Exactly.
And I think that helps us.
Yeah, being able to recognize that and not continually just try to blame the other person makes a huge difference in how short or how long that argument or disagreement goes on for.
Yeah. Do either of you ever get jealous of other men or women and your spouse? I am a jealous type. Total.
I'm not.
He's not at all. It's not like I'm rude to anyone or I don't allow him to talk to anyone. It's just like my own internal insecurities. But we also don't hang out with the opposite sex. And I think that we've talked about that, and people get really mad at us when we say that because they're like, "Oh, you can't trust each other enough not to hang out with that person." It's like, no, there's no reason. There's no way for that to even get to that point of like an inappropriate relationship with someone because we just don't ever put ourselves in that situation to begin with. So I know a lot of you guys are in agreement with that, but we talked about it on our vlog channel before, and people were not happy with us about it.
People get real defensive.
You do you. But we are very secure in our relationship, and it's what works for us. And it's also actually what we've been told by our mentors who have been married 20 plus, 30 plus years. Like this is something that all of them also do as well. So we don't have to follow the number here necessarily because like I said, we didn't go through these before. But what are 3 things that you love about each other and 3 things that you dislike about each other? I love his patience. Ryan has a hard time saying exact things he loves about me. His answer is just, I just love you. I love that he is very firm in his beliefs. I don't always love how vocal he is about it. So like that kind of goes together. One's a dislike, one's a like. But I like that he's very confident in it. And then the third one would probably be like how good of a dad he is and how involved he is. Because I know that's also a rarity too. Like he's very involved with the girls and I'm very appreciative of that. I also don't like that he can't sit still and do nothing. So it makes it hard to like cuddle with him because like for him to cuddle with me, he's got to like do something on his phone or because he can't just sit there.
I don't like it. I love the way you respect me. I don't like that you have so many EDS issues. Not that I don't love you. It's just one of those things that like, for your sake, I wish you didn't have that because I know how much of a struggle that is for you, like pain-wise.
Like today I woke up and my whole body just hurt. And that was a very slow movie.
Yeah.
And then in turn that also means he has to do a lot more work with the girls, so I can kind of see also why he isn't so fond of it. But he's 100% understanding and like, okay with it.
I don't like that it's so easy for you to just sit and do nothing. You know, like
you wish I was more adventurous?
Me being like a mover. I have to move.
Hey, but I'm definitely like a I want to get out of the house person.
Oh yeah, you are.
I mean, like I regret it halfway through getting out usually because something hurts. But I am a person that like when it comes to the weekends, I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. Like I want to get out of the house and go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say impatience because I'm not patient.
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah. I don't like that about me either, so.
I like how creative you are. I love how creative you are. You come up with all kinds of different things. It's like, oh, yeah, that'll be neat. Or, you know, just like your architectural drawings and stuff. And I like doing DIY. I never really did any DIY stuff before, but since we've been married, we've done some stuff, and
he's realized his love for it.
I like doing DIY, and I love that you are so like, oh, yeah, let's do it.
So this next question actually comes from a friend of mine. She went to church with me, and Kylie wants to know, how do you feel the dynamic of your relationship changed when you got married? What is something you wish you could tell your younger self about getting married? I don't think there's necessarily anything that we could tell our younger selves about marriage, but something that we could tell other people about to get married is like make sure you know everything about the person and to read marriage books, to take advice from those that have been married for years and years, because that is ultimately why there was no dynamic change. There was a good, there was a good change, obviously, but, like, we didn't see a huge shift in our relationship in that, like, you know, we realized, oh, this is going to be a lot harder than we thought. We've never had that moment, I don't think.
No. I think not only that, but due to just the nature of our relationship before we got married, from the day we started dating to the day we got married, there were maybe a total of 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So total. 21 days in total that we did not see each other in those 3 years. Yes. Which
and
I
without
think is
spending the night at anyone's house. Like, we never spent the night at each other's houses. We did go on vacation with each other with our parents. So like we were around each other a lot. So like being on vacation, we saw like how the person got ready for bed and all of that kind of things. That we didn't sleep together, but like we still saw that whole process. We saw how each other woke up in the morning. So like nothing was a surprise to us at all.
Right. So I mean, for us, it was definitely. Obviously this is not a common common way to have a relationship prior to marriage, but that's how it was for us. And like she said, the fact that even our parents are best friends. Yeah. They weren't as good as friends back then, but they were still friends, really which means, you know, we were always together, which really helped us see all of the different aspects of each other, the good, the bad, and everything in between. Yeah. I mean, heck, even we went grocery shopping.
Ryan bought my groceries, like towards, I don't know, last like a year probably or something like that.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a decent amount, because my parents had some money issues back then, and so Ryan would buy my groceries. So we even like had the experience of grocery shopping together. So like there's so many odd things about our relationship that there's not necessarily we can tell someone how to exactly replicate what we did so that they, you know, have the same kind of thing where there's no surprises, there's, you know, just the positive changes. But I mean, the only thing you can do really is just literally try to know every little thing about one another so that there aren't any. And I don't think that there should necessarily be any surprises, like bad surprises.
Right. If there's a bad surprise after you get married, then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Why didn't you know that before you got married? Is really the real question. Yeah.
So the next question is, how does God and faith have a positive effect on your marriage and making life-changing decisions?
So obviously with God and Christ, their love is shown unconditionally to not only us, but to everyone in the world. So when you think of it in terms of that, it's hard not to then show unconditional love to especially your spouse, the person you're with the most out of any other person in the world. And you know, as you grow closer to Christ, you grow closer to your spouse as well. And it continues to change you on the inside, which then changes your marriage for the better as well.
I think the biggest aspect of it is just the unconditional love that's shown. That really just has like a huge effect on your marriage and how you handle everything. How you handle parenting, how you handle communication, how you handle accepting faults. And as for like life-changing decisions, obviously it makes those decisions, I mean, I don't know exactly what decisions you mean, but it makes making decisions easier because a lot of times those decisions are kind of clear in the Bible what you should be doing or not doing.
Yeah, whether it's like a moral or something like moral decision or something along those lines. But if it's more of like a, should I move or something like that? Prayer. If you're praying and you're essentially waiting for God to verbally answer you and say, yes, you should go this way. What you see as in coincidences, like, oh, there's this, and this, and this. It must just be coincidence. It's probably not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Like that's what they say. There's no such thing as coincidence.
So there's a story about a guy. It's a story about a guy that's drowning and he's praying to God to save him. And so a jet ski comes by. I don't know exactly how it goes. You know, a jet ski comes by and he's like, hey guy. He's like, no, God will save me. And then a boat comes by and he's like, no, God will save me. And then he drowns and he dies. And then he gets to heaven and he goes, well, why didn't you save me? He's like, I sent you a jet ski and a boat.
Right.
There's no coincidences. Like, you prayed and he answered, but you didn't accept it. So, yeah. It's a fun little story for you guys. So we're gonna do one last question, and I'm really sorry if we weren't able to get to your question particularly. We did have quite a few. How does Ryan help you when you're having a bad day? I have had some of the same issues, and I'd love to see how he helps you, so I can see if my husband can use some of the same things to help me on bad days. I think one of the most frequent things he does is when he gets home, if he knows I've been having a bad day, which he'll know because I'll be texting him during the day, that would be that he'll let me go upstairs, take an hour or two to myself, and he'll just take care of the kids and hang out with them, make dinner, and I'll just lay down in bed, or maybe I'll start editing then just to like decompress right away and edit. So I'll just start early or something. But that's really the most frequent way, I think. Yeah. But like out of the ordinary ways, I'm trying to think of like what you did before we had kids. Now, like when I'm having tough days, the biggest stressor is my children. Because
they can be stressful.
Yeah, and if you have PTSD, then you know like the constant screaming can make your day very difficult. And so really just getting quiet time is the biggest thing for me. In terms of like if I am having a lot of issues with anxiety, he does deep pressure therapy hugs. There you go, we can just show him. He goes like this, and he puts it on my chest, and then I breathe in, and then I hold it, and then I let it out. Yeah, I'm a gift person, so like sometimes I'm having a bad day, he'll just go and get me whatever I want to eat. Yeah. Which isn't necessarily the best thing to support my unhealthy eating habits, but it does help. But like the biggest thing he does is ask, how can I help?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't give him an answer, or I'll say like there's nothing, but it's just the fact that like he's asking, because if you know what you need, then you can say it. Because some people aren't going to ask for what they need unless they're asked. So if you're one of those people, like just have your spouse ask you like, what can I do to help you right now? Because he does do that actually quite a bit. Well, that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and got to know us a little bit better. Well, we hope you guys have a happy Valentine's Day. If you're single, go buy yourself some chocolate and eat it, okay? Because I said so. You know what? You need to treat yourself too.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. If this day doesn't have to just be a day for couples, if you're single, you can go buy yourself something. Happy Love Yourself Day. I hope you guys enjoyed this though, and I will see all of your wonderful faces on Sunday. Bye.